Okay. I'm gonna give it a couple seconds because I assume that everything is working, and this is the inaugural test of what I'm gonna do here. So we'll give it a couple minutes, and we will see exactly what is going on. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I really hope that this is. Oh, it looks like it's working. It really does. Oh. Yeah. Oh, snap. It looks like it's working. Oh. Dope. Okay. I'm gonna mute you guys real quick. Or not. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Sounds coming and everything. Okay. Like I said, I'm gonna give this a couple seconds. Just a couple seconds, and we're gonna see how this works. All right. There's a quite a bit that I want to talk about, and it's mostly pertaining to the Microsoft and Nintendo situation and exactly what they're doing and how they're basically screwing up the whole industry. And I don't think anybody is actually really 100% paying attention to what they're they're going to do. So tonight we are going to discuss this. We're going to go into depth, but like I said, I want to give it a couple seconds and then we can start. So as everyone starts to pile up in the room, we can have this conversation. So plus, I'm actually very excited, just so we could recap of what's actually going on and why I'm so excited. Um, Today, I wanted to change up things and do things a little different. So what I'm basically attempting to do is have a multi-stream. So I'm streaming on multiple different platforms, and this is also my inaugural kind of thing. Hey, Danny. Um, I'm streaming on Kick. I'm streaming on Twitch, which I haven't used Twitch in forever. I'm doing YouTube. I'm doing all right. How about you? Um, I am seeing how all this stuff is going to work, and it seems to be working. So I'm gonna knock on wood that it's gonna continue. So I think I think it's a good time for me to start. Um, so the whole Microsoft and Nintendo thing, right? It's been weighing on my mind for quite a little bit ever since the Nintendo Switch 2 got announced. And exactly what I'm feeling about it is I'm in utter disgust with Nintendo. They have literally opened up Pandora's box. They have allowed now us to be in this weird kind of mix where we are essentially going into we're regressing as a gaming industry. Um, we are fully now going to the level of just back in the day. It's the Wild West. We're heading towards Atari era, where games are overly priced. They're hunks of junk. We are paying for early access, ET levels of infamy of just garbage. And I feel, and this is just coming as a developer myself and looking at everything that is happening. And I'm not talking about just in this narrow scope of just Microsoft and Nintendo. I'm talking about as an industry where the consumer itself is volunteering itself to allow a lot of these practices to happen. I was talking about this back when the loot box craze was a thing. I was talking about this when the industry was pushing itself towards microtransactions, and now we are essentially here where we have two major companies that even Sony has done it. They have now increased the margin so much that we are now building walls against people who can actually afford to just be in this hobby, which is utterly ridiculous if you think about it. You have a Switch that, yes, it's a hybrid, but you're asking premium price for it, a full $450. And there's nothing there, there's no substance here. We're allowing the gaming industry itself to push this notion of just like that it can just nickel and dime people until it gets either what it wants or the industry itself collapses. Nintendo was one of the prime examples of what to do correct in the industry until they got too full of themselves back in the Super Nintendo NES, or yeah, Super Nintendo N64 era, where we could sell our console just on our merits alone, forget everyone else, create a bunch of garbage, and not do anything about it to change. Basically, become the dinosaurs of the industry, which is a good and bad thing, but constantly continue to put us into this direction where we are now essentially just being sheep. And as much as I would like to say that, you know what, Nintendo still has my heart and I still love them, because I, from the bottom of my heart, I still do. But I will not, and I repeat, I will not put myself in a position where Nintendo is going to profit off of me and not give me anything back. How many years? And I want everyone to be honest. How many years did everyone scream from the rooftops, we want GameCube. We want N64. We want a virtual console, a real virtual console, not this Nintendo Switch Online nonsense where essentially you're just renting games. No, I want to purchase games. And I'm not talking about emulated. I'm talking about being able to play this native on the console. We still don't have this with this console. Even with the GameCube that they've been showing off, is still emulated. These are glorified emulators on the console. Now we've gotten to the point where they're even saying Nintendo Switch games are going to be emulated. Can you picture that? The console that that is literally the predecessor of, or the predecessor, or no, yeah, the predecessor, whatever it's called. The console that came before is going to be emulated on native hardware because it's too outdated. And then they're going to continue to just rip us off and get away with it. As much as I would like to say that I'm the diehard and I would love to buy this console because it sold me on a couple things until that price point popped up. And then the games. And I have a whole rant about the games, but I, I don't know if you guys have the time to listen to me on my little soapbox here. But to think that we're going to do this and get away with it is like absolutely ridiculous. And yes, I agree with you. Yeah, I completely agree. Yes, they were suffocating the studios with the contracts that they were under. Yes, full, full, oh man, wholehearted on that one. But thinking just in my little brain up here, where Nintendo has all the chips, and now going into this generation where they essentially want to continue to put us into this little corner, and now full wholeheartedly going after studios that have nothing to do with them, i.e., Power World and their development studio, where they have to remove features because the big N deems it that it's too close to one of their franchises, even though that franchise they do not want to propel forward. Then, when it comes to emulation and getting the titles that we want, they want to fight back and now have a kill switch within their console, is now the new thing that's happening. Nintendo is getting to the point where it is no longer a household consumer friendly device. And I know that we were creeping towards that by the end of Reggie Fils-Aimé, but we've jumped off the deep end here, like legitimately deep jumped off, and there is no U-turn for Nintendo. Like we've gone because all the goodwill that they've built up with the Switch and built up trying to win consumers back, this is going to forever be a stain. No matter how many times they could release Legend of Zelda, make a new Legend of Zelda, no matter how great this new Mario would be, no matter how much hype goes around Metroid, I could longer, no longer full wholeheartedly support Nintendo in any way, shape, or form. I even thought about, reviving one of my old games and start to develop on it again after I'm done with this little game that I'm working on, and find a way to make it on the console that I've always dreamed to work on, or the platform that I've always dreamed to work on. And I can't, as a developer, even support this console. I can't even, as a consumer, want to support this console. I tell my friends at work all the time that we shouldn't even be doing this. I know that they like to fight back and say, you know what? No, Nintendo, the the quality's there, the amazing. But I'm like, no, because if you think about it, right? And I'm gonna get into my rant about the games. Um, the games are amazing. The quality, yes, I wholeheartedly, yes, the quality is there. But $80, and we're gonna talk about the price point. $80 for a game. And keep in mind that this game is never going to be deducted. We're never going to see a $20 Nintendo game. Those days are completely over. We're never going to see the Nintendo Selects. We're never going to see the greatest hits. We're never going to see anything like that. I want you people, or if you guys can, go into Amazon and just look up, oh, what is it? Mario Odyssey, right? One game that came out close to launch. And tell me what you guys see with that price. And I guarantee that you're going to see it's another $60. It's still going to be at $60. That game has not moved. They've bundled it. They've dropped the price on it. Even Mario Kart, what is it? Mario Kart 8. I think that, yeah, is it? Yeah, I think it's 8. 8 or 9, whichever one came out for the Wii U. You go through that and it's still $60. That game is from the Wii U era and it's still $60. And even when it goes on sale, they bring it down to $45, maybe $35. That game you will never see. It is not worth $60. At this day and age, it is not worth $60. So now you're going to get into the point where you have an $80 game that never lowers in price. They want to continue to tell you that the quality is there, and then they charge you that. But then when we get to now the DLC, because Mario Kart's going to have it because the previous one had it, where they added those extra courses, what is now the DLC price going to be? Anyone? Anyone? It's not going to be $20 because that was the old price. Now we've spent years of development on there. I guarantee that you're going to see we're going to add as little as possible, and we're going to charge $40 for that DLC pack. They're only going to add, I guarantee it, about five courses, maybe 6, and then say, okay, yeah, that's $40. Well, we still have more, and then add another one. And then all of a sudden at the end of it, oh man, now we got the Ultimate Edition. They're going to follow through all the same trends. They see it all over the place. They see everybody supporting it, everybody doing this. And especially now that Switch has sold out and they can't stock enough, and they see that the industry is telling them that it's all green light, that this is the perfect way to do this. This is how everybody wants it. We're going to continue to fall for it. They're going to continue to do it. They're going to continue to push it until somebody somewhere along the line, and I don't see it in this generation, is going to push back. I really want this console to fail. Like, I really want this console to fail. I don't care what soapbox I have to get on to talk to as many people as I have to, but I really want this console to fail. I don't want this console to succeed. I know what's going on. I know where we're headed, and I don't want it to succeed. I don't even want the Xbox to succeed because they're doing the same exact thing. You can't tell me that your games that are $60 right now, because of this imaginary tariff that you put on old games, are now going to be $80. Microsoft, like, it's ridiculous. Microsoft has is literally the bottom barrel game manufacturer. Yes, you can get those games off of Game Pass, but I guarantee, because now those games are $80 because, inflation, now what we're going to end up seeing is Game Pass's price is going to increase. And I don't see it going up by a little bit either. It's going to go up by quite a bit. And you know what happens after that? Sony follows suit. Because right now Sony's saying that we're giving breaks on, the pricing of the console because they're lowering the price a little bit. But they're doing this to entice you into it. And then now that, we have that $70 game threshold, that is going to go up. And there's no stopping it at that point. There is literally no stopping it. Once we've opened up this can of worms and Nintendo was the one to do it, we are never putting that cap back on there. And I know that everyone was anticipating that it was going to be GTA 6 as well as I thought it was going to be then. And I still say today, I won't buy that console. I won't buy that game either because I'm not going to buy a game for $100. There's no way. There's no way. $80 is pushing it. Even then, I don't want it. $70, I don't want it. I'll buy the game on sale. I'll wait till 5 years after that game comes out because I know that price will dump. But I won't buy it on a Nintendo platform because what? The price will stay. I will continue to emulate. I don't care what Nintendo says. And you hear me, Nintendo. I'm talking directly to you, my man. Big N and all. I don't care. I will continue to emulate. There's literally no stopping me. I have tons of your games. I can get one of those emulators. I'm not going to say which one. I have those discs. I'll put them in there. I'll burn those discs and I will continue to emulate. There's no way. No way. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care how anybody's trying to justify this. I personally, and I hope everyone else is listening, I don't care what quality their games are. I don't care how hard they try this. I don't care how good they think there are. I'm not going to pay $80 for a game. Everything in the damn world has gone up in price. I'm not going to let my medium, my favorite thing in the world, increase to the point where most people cannot play these games. It is ridiculous. This is a pastime. I don't think companies fully understand that as soon as the money starts to dry up, the first thing that goes is always going to be entertainment. Always entertainment. There's no way around it. No way around it. None. It is like absolutely ridiculous that they can think that justifying the price of a console, games, and think that we are just going to take it on the chin and then say, oh man, you know what? Oh, that was justified. You know what? I should give you some extra money. I should give you some extra money. Because now it's even making me start, and I just thought about it right now. It's making me rethink DLC as well. If you can't give me a complete package, because that's most of the games that I play are just old games. If you can't give me a complete package for the price that I am giving you, why are you in business? Everyone has now pigeonholed themselves into a position where every single game needs to be AAA. And I even said this a while ago in past videos. And I still full wholeheartedly agree with this. We should not be in a position where we do not have C tier games, B tier games, A, and AAA. We should not. Like, legitimately, we should not. I miss playing my little arcadey games. I miss playing my realism games. I miss playing, what is it? Indie like games. And yes, I get the indie is supposed to fulfill that niche there, but I miss my NBA Streets. It was something that you could pick up, play, put down, go back to it, master it, but it's an arcade game. I miss my Need for Speeds where the game in itself was an arcade racer. I don't need these overly complex stories. I am good with lower tier games that are enjoyable. And I'll keep saying it. I miss the Streets games. I miss most of the EA big titles. I miss them. Absolutely miss them. I miss playing games to have fun. I don't need every single game to be a action packed adventure thrill ride. I don't need every single game to do that. There are plenty of games that do that. I just need games that I'm going to enjoy, that I'm going to have fun with. And I don't think that this industry is even capable of doing that. I miss playing my, you know what? One thing that I used to do a lot, and this pertains to this, so I'm going to neatly package this in a bow. But one thing that I absolutely miss, and I don't think I don't think a lot of people did this. You know, there's certain of us, and I'm one of the weird ones, right? One of the biggest things that I used to do with my brother was we would go to GameStop, right? And at GameStop, we you know we had a fixed budget, and he just like really doing this, so he's the one to put me on this, so I would give him all his credit. But one of the biggest things that we used to do was we would go into the bargain bin section, right? And that's a lot where all my games, more of my past games, that's where most of them came from. We're talking about what is it? The 360, PS3, PS2, uh, Wii was included in there. Most of those games. I have tons and tons and tons of games. I'll probably post it. No, I'm not gonna post a picture, but it used to be on my Instagram years ago. Um, Most of these games were from the dollar section, right? The very bottom, you know, when GameStop was actually selling games, it was always in the bottom section. You could get these games usually for uh, $1 all the way up to $5. These were like the really, really bargain games. Back when I was in college, I used to do it too, and I tried to encourage my friends, and they they would only go for the type of games they liked. And a lot of the times, you would end up finding these extreme good gems of games, but a lot of people never played them. So they were always in the bargain bin. They could never sell them. A lot of the RPGs that I pulled were from there. What is it that Castlevania fighting game for the Wii that was from the artist of Death Note? I forget what it is. It's an arena battle game, and that game was really fun. I got Sneak King. I know a lot of you guys that may follow the channel may actually like or may know anything about. You know, there was games like that. What is it? There was the Last Story for the Wii. It was another niche RPG, very good RPG, but I got it for I think it was like $6. Still got the tags on it. Um, the all these games. Now let's put the bow on it because I'm dragging my ass right now. But a lot of these games were phenomenal. Were phenomenal. Of course, you know you have your stinkers, you have your poo pile, but a lot of them you would find really good games. I know one that people don't really like, but I don't really care. I really love it. Um, Duke Nukem Forever. Um, I paid $60 for that one, but it was also in the bargain bin, and a lot of my friends were like, "No," and I'm like, "No, that game's it's not the greatest, but it's a very fun game, and it's one of my guilty pleasures." But um, we don't have that anymore. We don't have a section of games where the developer takes a chance. And I get it, games are very expensive. But if you put yourself and position yourself, especially as a gaming studio, to be able to take these little risks, you will you're potentially not being able to tap into that market. You're not able to branch out. And then we get to this point where you have games that are perpetually going to be $80, $60, $100, and it doesn't ever stop. Microsoft, in its all infinite amount of wisdom and stupidity, and I say it has both of them, it gave us, what is it, the Expedition 33, a $50 game. Yeah, I think it's $50, but a $50 game nonetheless, a handful of developers, and the game was phenomenal, proving that one, Square Enix was full of shit, where they came up and said that nobody wanted an RPG, proving EA full of shit, nobody wants a single player story, proving again the whole industry is full of shit, where you could have these smaller titles, you could be able to make them successful, and yet we are still falling for the same nonsense. I'm going to say it. It's always going to be the same nonsense where we come up and say that, hey, you know what? Nobody wants this stuff. And then they release the game and prove that everybody wants it. We can have smaller games. We definitely can have smaller games. We definitely don't need $80 games. Most people, myself included, cannot afford $80 games. Mario Kart is not an $80 game. I'll say it again. Mario Kart, and yes, Nintendo, I'm talking to you. Mario Kart is not an $80 game. It's not. There's no way. No way. In no world can you justify that game as $80. And they know it. They know it. That's why when they were like trying to justify it with their Nintendo Direct and they were saying, "Oh man, um um yeah, we've added extra time so you can drive to one place to one place." If that is what justifies $80, then take it out and we can go back to the way it used to be. And I just load up every single round. I can wait the 2 seconds and see the cinematic trailer, so I can look at what the track's gonna be, and I can play it that way, if that's what justifies it, because I can drive an open world. Shoot, save yourself the extra development time. Take the open world out of there and just have it load. I'll go to course to course, and I'll be fine. But you know what? I could be wrong, and I probably am. So if you guys feel any different, just put it in the comment section below. Uh, and yeah, Nintendo, Mario Kart is not an $80 game. Make sure to rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. And thank you for being part of the inaugural test. Um, Everybody who joined me here, I much appreciate it. And yeah, love you guys.